I think my biggest challenge was that I'd just become really stuck in life, but I just didn't know how to get going again. So I would describe it as like I felt like I was sinking in mud,
Mhm.
and kind of all the sort of joy in life was getting sucked into this mud as well. And yeah, it really just felt like I just didn't know how to get out of it, but also I just didn't like, I didn't even have the energy to get out. I just was in this mud going, oh God, no. um, and just not, yeah, like I say, not having the energy and just kind of just wanting to sink in the mud, I guess, and not having that fight within me. I was thinking it was just like having that safe space to come like once a week, to be held, to be witnessed, and then to be given things to take away to work with on by myself. But it was never like you didn't overwhelm me with anything. It's like you kind of knew each week, like this is enough for you, just work on that. So that was really nice to not feel, it didn't feel like you were setting me something that then I had to go come back the next week and go, yeah, I did that. What's next? It was all quite flowed quite organically, which I felt was really good. And it didn't feel like we were just trying to get through a program because
Mhm.
on week two we had to do this. I feel like you kind of adjusted things to
Mhm.
suit where I was at the time, which was great. Cause like sometimes you can go and stuff and it is just like, week one you do this, week two, and there's no room to kind of
Mhm.
change it around depending on the person you're working with. So that I really appreciated that.
And if I was to say, there was a lot of discussion. One of the main focuses was in learning the presence and the beauty of working slowly with the nervous system and how to try and create safety through that depth and that slow pace. How did you find like bringing that into your consciousness and actually seeing firsthand that that pace is so essential for this work?
Yeah, because I think when I first came to you, like I say, I wanted to just get out of the mud. And I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. So
Mhm.
I think when we first started, I was like, oh, I just, that's all I was focused on. But I think I also had to know that I needed to spend a bit more time in that mud to figure out, well, what is going to help me? So rather than try and rush through things, that slower pace really helped. And it was actually like when I reflect back on it now, that is exactly what my nervous system needed. It didn't need me to be like, come on, get up, like get going again.
Yeah.
It needed that I'm going to look after you while we're in the mud and we'll do like the exercises you'd given me. And even knowing that even if I just did one of them, that would be enough. So it was accepting that this, I needed it to be slow because my nervous system obviously just couldn't handle that fast pace anymore.
And can you tell me a wee tiny bit about what you've worked with before and how this has been different?
Yeah, so I've done like coaching before, which has been obviously like set a goal each week. How are you getting on? Are you near that goal? That's all. I always felt quite fast paced. Um, Other things I've done, yeah, I think that they've all felt like they've been quite set, and
Yeah.
that by like week six you should be feeling amazing and doing all this. Whereas this was just much more. No, we would tune into like how my body felt, would bring that to the session, and then we could work through it. I
Mhm.
just felt like everything was set at the pace, that exact pace I needed. And then as we got further on, and obviously both seeing that there was changes happening, I felt like, well, that's when you were bringing more stuff in, and we were kind of changing up what we were doing. So I quite liked how it wasn't set in stone what
Mhm.
we were going to do together.
It's kind of led by your personal experience and depth and where you were ready to meet, basically.
Yeah.
And that was definitely such an enjoyable part of the program working with you. So, how did you feel was your experience of the safe and sound protocol within the program?
Yeah, well, I think you'll know that at first.
Mm.
I hated it. And yeah, that was challenging for me. But I think it led me to see, well, what was the challenge in it? And it was nothing to do with that. It was something completely unrelated. So it showed me there was still some things that needed work through and healed. And
Mhm.
yeah, so as much as like I was in quite a lot of resistance when we did the SSP, it definitely did help, and it made me sit and work through some stuff that, like I say, I felt like I dealt with it, but I probably hadn't, and I think I dealt with it, but I was probably still hanging on to it in my body. So doing the SSP did help me like release that. But yeah, it was quite interesting. Really sort of reverting back to toddler mode every time I did it.
It's kind of, I always think it's the experience of like really holding deeply into like resistance is, there's always some beauty in resistance, but I know, but depending on how different people work with it, I always see it as like it's a gateway, and there's always usually a message behind the resistance if we can slow down, and usually there's the biggest nuggets, and we did find a couple of big nuggets in that process, of rebridging self-autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. So part of the program working with Johnny, the herbalist, and the plant medicine, how was that and the integration part of your journey?
Yeah, I mean, that's been like really fascinating, to be honest. And just, yeah, I think even that first call with Johnny, when he described me as being like what was it, like the perfect case of someone who's gone into stagnancy. And
Mhm.
as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, yeah, that is exactly where I'm at. But it's been interesting to see how integrating the medicine has then helped with the practices we were doing. And then obviously he's changed dosages and things as we've been doing different stuff. And yeah, it's definitely really helped get me moving again, or get just to feel, I suppose, back in life again, because I just felt like I was invisible to life for a long time. And both working with you and him is like just, yeah, made me feel visible again, I think.
What's possible for you now that wasn't possible before?
So much. Like obviously when I joined the call, I was, as you know, signed off sick from work. Had no idea how I was ever going to return to my work. Was in a bit of a like, what the hell am I going like what am I going to do? And I think this a lot I've gained a lot of confidence from this work, so I was able to like go back to work, have a conversation about how work was for me with my boss. Subsequently I've moved roles. Yeah, I finally listened to the call in to do my tarot readings, which you've seen as well, has really helped. Yeah, it's like I said, it just gave me the boost. What I would say is the right pace boost, so it's not been like getting a rocket, but it's just been like, I guess I would describe it as just lighting the flame and just letting it gradually begin to burn again, rather than going, right, here's this big bonfire, off you go
Yeah.
and do what you need to do. So it's definitely been slow, but what that is, as I said before, that's what I needed.
Would you resonate with the understanding? Some people might not know that this saying that I always use in my socials as well was like, slowing down doesn't mean giving up. It
Yeah.
actually means honouring the parts of yourself you need to move forward with.
Yeah, because as well, like I had always really struggled like to rest. I'd always felt, I think I'd said to you, as always very much like, oh, but you should be doing this, this, and this. And like the past couple of years, I've worked really hard at slowing down, and this program has just helped me even more. And another thing I would say is it's helped me check in with myself better. So to say, like, do you really want to go and do that thing? Or would you rather just have some quiet time at home? And if I'm like, I'd rather just be quiet at home, this has helped me go, no, I'm not coming to that, or
Yep.
I'm gonna just, yeah, do what I want to do. So it's really deepened my sort of connection for looking after myself.
Would you say it's deepened your connection and your wisdom to your own body?
Yeah, definitely. And now, like, I can tell now when my nervous system, like, I'm dysregulated. It happened to me on Sunday, and I knew it. I knew it, and I was like, "You're, you're going in the zone here. You need to like stop doing it." And I didn't, and I continued on, and it got to the point where like Steve came and asked me if I was all right, and I was just like, "Ah!" And
Mhm.
then I kind of sat down and went, "Oh yeah, like you were totally dysregulated there." But then I was like, I need to stop what I'm doing and just go and sort myself out. Like when I'm dysregulated, and even things like when other people are doing stuff, I'm more of like, I can't be around that just now because I'm it's like not where I am. So it's even interesting just, when you're in a situation and you're like, oh no, nervous system is not liking this. It's then knowing that you can just remove yourself and then picking up on other people as well. Where you're like,
That's
oh,
always
you're
interesting.
dysregulated. Well, first of all, like I would like speak to you about it because like we hadn't met before. Like we've obviously got mutual
Hmm.
people that we know, but yeah, I would say just speak to you because like you're easy to talk to. Like you'll like you can show up as yourself with you as well, and you're
Hmm.
not going to be like what the hell. No, very accepting. Really hold a good safe space for people. Yeah, I just it's worth taking the time to do this because I feel there's so many benefits and I've seen such a big difference in myself, and it's not been like a quick fix. Like I can feel these are things now that are in me that are in me for the rest of this life. I think it's just so important to do work like this to get in tune with your nervous system because it's like basically your operating system, isn't it? And when it's like haywire, no wonder everything else in life is, not going how you want it to. So I feel like it's really important to tune into the nervous system and then so more people can learn how to look after their own nervous system and then we can all kind of operate a bit better as human
Yeah.
beings.
Definitely. I think we had a good chat about how there is part of popular healing culture and there is a tendency of like disembodied spirituality and not that
Mm-hmm.
anything's negative or calling out anything, but looking at how when we can have that integrated connectedness of bringing what we've received and learned back into the body and working with the nervous system, then all of these wonderful experiences start to really land and move through for us.
You'll find like all the other practices you're doing, like meditation, breath work, and all that you'll go much deeper. And I was a bit like, all right. But I'd say now, since I've come to the end of the program, that is one thing I have noticed is that like I can drop into meditation much quicker now, and I really don't have that monkey mind like I did before. So I'm more aware when the monkey mind's going and just going, okay, no, we're doing this now. And it goes away so much quicker. And thanks for all your help and support and everything.